Being the first to do something, being the inventor, isn't necessarily the most profitable business. You think about MySpace first inventing social networking, and then out comes Facebook that wins, So being the inventor is not necessarily the place you want to be. And so don't expect to get paid like you're doing a job. They're not the same. You're not trading time for money. You're building an asset. And when you're building an asset, the more that time you put into it, the more you build it, the more potential it has. And the more potential it has, the bigger the payoff's going to be down there. The first best return on investment by far is to invest in yourself, your own education, your own mindset, your own understanding. If you can stack skills together and you can add the skill of building a business, of sales, of marketing, of leadership, of team building, if you can stack these skills, you have them forever. No matter what the market does, you're going to get a return on that. In this session, I'll be covering the final 3 exponential entrepreneur thinking models. And so if you've been following along all the sessions, we've covered quite a few up to this point. And these are thinking models that changed everything for me from going on a business that was just slow and difficult to one that scaled. So the first one is today is to be an innovator, not an inventor. And this is a crucial thinking model. Many of us think we need to be an inventor, that we need to invent something brand new. And the problem with that is being an inventor, there's an old saying that the pioneers because they're lying face down in the dirt with arrows in their back. Being the first to do something, being the inventor, isn't necessarily the most profitable business. You think about MySpace first inventing social networking, and then out comes Facebook that wins, So being the inventor is not necessarily the place you want to be. Being an innovator, someone who sees what's working and makes it better, makes it different, makes it a unique opportunity, is far more profitable. So if you can take something that's already working and then put your spin on what's already working, you'll find that you're far more profitable. Now, one way to do this is in marketing. So the way to market a gym in San Francisco is the same way to market a gym in Sydney or Auckland or London. It doesn't really matter. It's very similar. And the reason why it's so similar is because humans are quite similar in those areas, and they all want to go to a gym. And so you can see what's happening and what other people are doing. And so one of the great things about marketing is you don't have to invent great marketing. You just have to be a great researcher. You just have to see what others are doing and innovate it, make it your own, Another thing as well is cross-pollinating and seeing what's happening in a different industry and do it in your industry, and bring it across. Be an innovator, not an inventor. I think some of the best entrepreneurs that really go exponential, they can see what others are doing and they add it. It's been fascinating for me over the years to be in so many different business softwares, from funnels or websites or CRMs, and you always see a new one come out, right? It's like, hey, this one now does this. And then you think, oh, maybe I should change. But within a few months, your platform is doing the same thing. And so the actual payoff of inventing for most of us isn't actually that great. It's much, much better to see and notice what others are doing, get inspiration from them, and add it to what you're doing. So be an innovator. You'll find it's far more profitable than being an inventor. The next is to understand that your business growth is not linear. So when we have a job, we turn up, we do an hour's work, we get an hour's pay. We get an hour's work, an hour's pay. And it just stays like that. If you do 10 hours, you get 10 hours pay, maybe you get a bonus. It's linear. The only way that it increases is maybe you do overtime, you get a pay rise. It's not like that in your business. In fact, you won't get paid at the beginning. You will do work, you have to learn skills, you have to build websites, you have to create, you have to do things for a long time, you get nothing. In fact, you might have to invest, so you might go down. And then as you start, what you don't realize is in your business is everything you do, you don't have to do again. And so, you figure out, your website and your messaging, and you get your marketing, and blah, 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 and then you get your team, and then you don't have to go do that again. If you understand these thinking models, you'll realize that it slowly builds and then it just explodes at the end. And so don't expect to get paid like you're doing a job. They're not the same. You're not trading time for money. You're building an asset. And when you're building an asset, the more that time you put into it, the more you build it, the more potential it has. And the more potential it has, the bigger the payoff's going to be down there. And so I see a lot of entrepreneurs, they start their business and they expect to be getting paid like a business. But instead, you must realize the first thing to do is get something you can sell, get a minimum viable product. Then you need to test that, go get your first few sales. Then you need to get your marketing. Then you need to make your product a bit better, and then this, and then this, and then you move, and then you get a team, and then you get some resources, and you slowly go. And at some point, you hit an inflection point where every dollar you put in, you're pulling out so much more cash, and then you're investing it back in, and you're getting more staff, and it goes slow. Then it starts to grow, and then, you know, make a few 100,000, then 500,000, then 1 million, and then suddenly you put all the team in. And, you know, for me, making my first $1 million was so difficult. But then I didn't even notice making 2 million and 3 million, right? Because the difference was like, so it was so easy to do. So it was really hard to get that escape velocity and get to the, you know, to the $83,000 a month, which is $1 million a year. That was like, and then he got there, and then all of a sudden I could pay for great staff and pay for marketing. And so it just went boom. And then I got to about 3 million, and things had to change. At 3 million, I had to kind of redo my executive team and leadership and other things, and work out a way to scale. And then it was really hard to get from 3 to sort of 5 million, you know, like 400,000 a month. It was really hard. And then boom, all of a sudden we're at $1 million a month, you know. And then it got hard again. We had to figure some stuff out, and then, you know, we got to blah blah blah. Then suddenly boom, we're at 2 million a month. Like, so there's these points where you'll go, and then there's a sticking point, and then it's difficult for a little bit, and then all of a sudden it just takes off again, and it's definitely not linear. Which leads me to the very last thinking model, and I've so enjoyed sharing all of these. And this one is that the best ROI you'll ever get. People will say, Chris, what should I invest in a recession? What is the best? Where should we put in my money? Well, I'm going to give you more than one answer. The first best return on investment by far is to invest in yourself, your own education, your own mindset, your own understanding. If you can stack skills together, and you can add, you know, the skill of building a business, of sales, of marketing, of leadership, of team building, if you can stack these skills, you have them forever. No matter what the market does, you're going to get a return on that. And that's why I'm so passionate about education, because if you put $10,000 into an education program, there's no way you don't get your 10 grand back, right? Like, you get that back, plus you get a return on it. So the best investment is you. Now, the second is, people always say, but Chris, should I be investing in passive stocks or this stock or that? And so, you know, let's say that you're already investing in yourself, and you're learning as much as you could possibly learn, and you've still got more money. And you go, Chris, where should I put my money? And I always say to people, I'm like, look, if you put $10,000 a year into Vanguard, which is a very good place to put money, all right, put it in there, you're going to receive whatever it is, 8.5 to 10% back. But $10,000 a year is not going to get you anywhere. And so it's really not. Like, you're going to make $800 back that year, and then the next year, you know, you make $1,600. And you know, it's going to take you a heck of a long time to get financially free. It's totally cool to do that. But the best investment is actually put in your business. So first it's you, second is put it back in your business, because in your business is the only place where you can get 200, 300, 400, 1,000% returns. You know, if you think about it, if you take that same 10,000 and you put it on an advertising campaign, and that advertising campaign turns into $20,000 in a month, and then within a year that same 20,000 has now created clients of, let's say, you know, 100,000, and you're on a 30% profit margin, you 3x'd your money in 1 year, right? Which is a 300% return, rather than if you just had a tiny return. So I always say to people, I'm like, number one, invest in yourself. Number two, invest in your business. Once you've actually got a decent amount of money, then, you know, coming in, because your business is making a couple million, then go put it into these other passive investments. And that's the best return on investment. Yourself, your business, then passive. And that's just my opinion. So I have so enjoyed this, and I'll be shifting on the next sessions back into more self-made millionaire content. But I hope you enjoyed, you know, these last 9 episodes where I shared 3 thinking models in each one. These changed my life, and yeah, I really, 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 really hope that it's changed yours too. So have a brilliant day, and I'll see you on the very next session. Bye for now.